Christmas is finally here, and around the world, millions will be celebrating with their own unique traditions. But only one city has earned the title of Christmas City. We'll journey to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania tonight into the heart and soul of the Christmas season. We'll be joined by the historic Bethlehem Museum and Sites, check in on the Moravian College Christmas Vespers, and have a special appearance by country music artist Kendal Conrad. That's all coming up right here, right now, on this Christmas special. I'm Sam Chen, and this is Face the Issues. Good evening and welcome to our Christmas special here at Face the Issues. I'm your host, Sam Chen. Christmas is here, and around the world, millions will be celebrating with their own unique traditions. But in the little town of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, it's the only city that reserves the right to be called the Christmas City. Why is that, and what makes Christmas here so special? We'll be taking that journey to Bethlehem tonight to find out. I'm pleased to be joined today by the historic Bethlehem Museum and Sites. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being with us and for all that you guys do. Let's jump right in and talk about Bethlehem and its history, and why is Bethlehem the Christmas city? What makes this so special for us?
Sam, Bethlehem is just an incredible place at Christmas, and its name says it all. In 1741, on Christmas Eve, Count Nicholas Ludwig von Zinzendorf led a small band of Moravians into a stable, and there they sang the hymn, Jesu, Call Thou Me, and it has a line, not Jerusalem, lowly Bethlehem, and that's how Bethlehem got its name. On Christmas Eve, 1741. It sounds like it should be out of Hollywood, but it really did happen.
That is so incredible. Talk to me a bit. Bethlehem is a city settled by the Moravians, and hence the Moravian College, the Moravian bookstore. We see the name everywhere. Not many people know who the Moravians were. How do those traditions play into what makes Bethlehem so special?
First of all, the Moravians are members of a mainstream modern Protestant denomination, which can be considered the oldest Protestant denomination, tracing its roots back to the early mid-1400s. And so from there, members of this denomination spread out all over the world, including coming to Bethlehem. And that's how that all got started when they settled the community.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the Christmas traditions that we enjoy today in Bethlehem. Again, this is the Christmas city. There's nothing like it anywhere in the world. What are some of the traditions that we have today, and how does some of that history play into it?
One of the traditions is a putz, and putz is from a German word meaning putzen, or to decorate. And so back in the Dark Ages, they had a tradition of using miniatures to tell the Christmas story. And so Moravians, over the generations and centuries, developed this way of telling the Christmas story from the Annunciation to Mary all the way through to the flight into Egypt, using miniature scenes. So Bethlehem, the Moravian churches in Bethlehem, including our museums, the Moravian Museum and the Single Sisters House, we have putzes, so people can experience a Moravian putz.
Oh, that's so neat. And what about today? If someone were to visit Bethlehem today, what kind of traditions do we see today?
Today, they could come and learn about Bethlehem by taking the Christmas City Stroll, which starts at our visitor center and talks about the Moravian traditions, the community, and why it's so special. We also have the Bethlehem by Night tour, and that is really a beautiful glimpse into the city at night with the lights. And what's very interesting about Bethlehem is on the north side, the tradition is they would be lit up in white lights. And then when you travel to the south side by Bethlehem Steel, they'd have the multicolored lights, which represented the many different cultures that represented
very cool.
That community. And of course, you get to see the star on top of South Mountain, which everybody enjoys, and now they can see 365 days out of the year.
That is beautiful. I'm glad you brought up the star. The star is so central to Bethlehem history and to this Christmas celebration. And we're not just talking about a star on a tree. There's a star on South Mountain, but also you have with us the Moravian star. Talk to us about the Moravian star. Why is this such a special piece of history?
Well, it actually started out as a teaching tool for the boys' school, and it was a geometry lesson, and it was roughly 110 points. The star today is 26 points, and this star is made by a local artisan, Dan Fiore, that lives on Gep Street in Bethlehem, not very far from our museum store. We have people that come in each and every day that ask about the star, and the stars are available every day that we are open. You'll see the stars adorn many residents throughout Bethlehem's homes and in the businesses, and it really is a nice token to commemorate your visit to Bethlehem in a Moravian tradition.
And you see it hanging from so many homes throughout Bethlehem. Everywhere you go, you see people have the Bethlehem star hanging there. And that's so neat. This might be the coolest math toy, maybe up there with the Rubik's Cube, but you can't hang a Rubik's Cube from your house. It's just kind of silly. That's really neat. And let me ask, there's also a great tradition, not just with stars, but with trees, right? And there's something surprising about the tree in Bethlehem. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Sure. Bethlehem had the earliest Christmas tree, and we've really expanded upon that tradition. We have every year Trees of Historic Bethlehem. And Trees of Historic Bethlehem takes place across multiple sites that we care for as Historic Bethlehem museums and sites. And this year we have over 20 trees, and we pick a different theme every year. So now we have Couture Christmas, and each tree is inspired by a fashion designer.
Oh, very
and
cool.
Some of our trees even look like they came straight off the runway. They have busts for the top, and then they go into a beautiful tree skirt. We work with over 48 volunteers who come in and help us make our sites look beautiful and Christmassy for the season.
That is so neat. Now, there are millions of people that have come to Bethlehem to celebrate Christmas. Our studio is right here in the middle of Lehigh Valley. It's a gem for us to be right here, but there are people that come from all around the world. What makes Bethlehem special? Why are people coming to this city for Christmas?
I think Bethlehem has a very special feeling all year round, not just at Christmas, but I think it's heightened during the Christmas season. Bethlehem starts celebrating Christmas after Thanksgiving, and it maintains the sensibility of spirituality along with the retail. So it has a combination of both. People can do shopping in our museum stores and shopping on Main Street and dining in the restaurants and taking tours and observing Christmas in a traditional way.
And there's something magical about it. I love being downtown during Christmas season in Bethlehem, right? There's something just really, really magical about it. I've done Christmas in DC, I've done Christmas in New York. There's nothing that quite compares to doing Christmas in downtown Bethlehem. It looks like you have something on your mind.
I think you asked about the tradition and what makes Bethlehem so special, and I think one of the traditions is the candle in the window. So when visitors come, whether they're walking about town or they're on Church Street, you'll see all of the 18th century Germanic buildings lit up with the white candle. And so it takes them back in time. It makes you feel like you can slow down a little bit. And they can see the putzes, which was a tradition that started centuries ago, and now people can understand more about the nativity, and it's a wonderful experience for young and young at heart.
Yeah, agreed. Let me ask you, for all three of you, you work for Historic Bethlehem, what is the best part of this season in your mind?
For me, I spend a lot of my time at the sites at this time of year, so we see a lot of new faces, people who are coming through, and they want to get the snapshot of Bethlehem and what it's about. But the most rewarding thing to me is that people see their own experiences and their own families when they come into the museums. So, for example, the Kemmerer Museum of Decorative Arts is a museum with a Victorian era parlor and bedroom. But people walk through and they say, oh, this reminds me of an heirloom that my family has passed down. It's again just that callback to the tradition of Christmas, but also people's current experiences and what they can connect with. It's a timelessness.
Absolutely. Agreed.
I think it's our guides often wear period dress at Christmas.
As you are.
As I am right
It's not
now.
how you dress every day.
Oh, no, that's
Okay.
not how I dress to sit at my computer every day. But just to give you an example from today, I was walking in downtown and people stopped and were interested. And I think one of the things that's really exciting for me is to share the stories of early Bethlehem with the public that we do every day in our historic sites and museums. And we have been shortlisted for a nomination to the World Heritage List.
Yes.
And this makes us such a special time to be able to share those stories.
Yeah, and hopefully this short list is going to quickly move up and become one of the great historic sites in the World Heritage List. So,
I like when people come in and ask about the traditions, and we have many that have been formed in Bethlehem, and one of them is the Moravian sugar cookie. And back in 1925, the Gromans produced what is still one of the best sugar cookies, in my opinion, in the world, and they make those once a year for us to help preserve our buildings. And people come in and they don't just buy a box, they buy 3 or 4 or
Sure.
5. And so it's that joy that people want to come in and they visit us each and every year for those little traditions that in this day and age could easily get tossed aside.
right, absolutely. And I think what all of you do so brilliantly is you combine the history with the modern. And when you walk in there, to your point, it is timeless, and it's just such a beautiful tradition. I appreciate you guys joining us to share that tradition with all of our viewers. So thank you so much for what you do, and just really appreciate all of you.
Thank you,
Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Sam.
Don't go away. We'll be right back. I need to grab some of those sugar cookies, but we'll be back right after these messages. You just saw a clip from the annual Christmas Vespers concert hosted at Moravian College. It's an annual tradition, and without it, Christmas wouldn't be Christmas in Bethlehem. And so I'm pleased to welcome to our studio the director of that concert, Dr. Paula Zerkle. Dr. Zerkle, welcome to Face the Issues. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us.
Thanks for having me.
The Christmas Vespers, like I said, it's not Christmas in Bethlehem without it. Can you just start and walk us through some of its history and why is it so important to the traditions of this city?
Well, because the city started as a Moravian community, it's really a Moravian tradition. And what the creators of our particular Vespers were Dick and Monica Shantz, who ran the music department from the 50s up to the beginning of the 90s. They combine the idea of a Singstunde, which is kind of just a sung ceremony, and a love feast, which is where you get some coffee and sugar cake and sing some more.
That sounds fun.
Moravians love to sing. So it started, just as maybe a couple nights, and it's graduated now to 6 nights in December, which is exciting for us. Certainly, and I know a lot of people feel like their Christmas season starts once we open our doors.
Absolutely, and Christmas in Bethlehem is just such a big thing, the Christmas city, and it starts with the Vespers, and for so many of us that are natives here. And it's a great tradition, to your point, with the history of it. I mean, the Central Moravian Church is, if I understand correctly, the oldest Moravian church on the continent, and then the clock in the bell tower is the oldest functioning American-made clock. There's so much history to this area, and then to bring in this concert. let me ask you about the students involved with it. You're the director of vocal music at Moravian College. Tell me about the students that come together to make this concert work.
Well, first of all, in terms of the choirs, there's vocal majors, there's instrumental majors, and there's completely students who don't study music at all. We have a nice selection. In fact, there's even a few community people. And we break out into, there's the college choir, and then there's smaller groups like Moravian Chorale, and we have a small 8-voice group that's vocalis, and we have women's chorus, men's chorus, and they all have a role in this ceremony. And also there's instrumental ensembles that do some prelude music at the beginning. That changes from year to year. But it's really a way to highlight our department and our talented students.
It's really neat. And it's something where, again, the whole college, the city, the valley really rallies around this event. Can you talk to me a little bit about how you prepare for this?
Well, I start in summer picking repertoire and figuring out, some kind of flow to a service. And then we start rehearsing in September right off, and we often have we always have a preview concert in November to kind of give us a dry run, see where we're at, wake us up saying, it's time, we got to get ready. So in terms of the choirs, they're preparing all semester, and so are the instrumental ensembles as well. So then there's my counterpart, who's the college chaplain, Jenica Borger. She gets together ushers and candle servers, and she's got that whole side, the logistical side to deal with.
Right.
So there's really kind of the two of us working in tandem.
That's neat. And the candlelight service is part of this concert, right?
True.
And if I understand that a lot of the candlelight servers are actually Moravian College alumni who come
It's true.
back.
That's how they get in. They get tickets. The tickets are free, but you need a ticket to get in.
Right.
And pretty much once the college community and alums have gotten their tickets, there's not a lot left.
Right.
So a lot of people find it's really easy to just serve candles. Plus, it's a nice perspective, I think.
Yeah.
And giving back to the college.
That's really neat. Let me ask you about, you said you start in the summer preparing for this.
Well, I personally choose the music,
Sure.
order it, study
Right.
it, so I'm ready in the fall when the semester starts to just go right in and start learning it. We learn up to 9 or 10
Oh, wow.
pieces. So we need that whole time to
and
get
that
in.
changes then from year to year.
Every
right?
year, different repertoire. Yeah, I do repeat from time
Sure.
to time some ones that are particularly popular and the students like. So in the span of 4 years, I wouldn't repeat, but certainly each student will. Some alums that come back say, "Oh, we did that one," and that makes them really happy.
Yeah.
So I think repeating is actually a good thing.
I agree, and it's neat because the Vespers really tell us a story, and it tells the Christmas story. It's tradition in the high church tradition. It's a sermon without a sermon, almost like a service
Right,
without
there's
actually speaking parts.
Readings and prayers and hymns, carols, music, and that's really it.
And you tell the whole story, and you do it so creatively. Again, it's such a joy. Let me ask you, what for you? You've done this for quite a few years now.
Yeah, this is my 26th year at Moravian, but my 25th Vespers. I had a sabbatical one year. So.
Fair enough. You got one break.
I did. I got one break.
What's your favorite part about doing all this?
Well, I think it's the audience is so excited and so grateful for it. And so many people tell me how their Christmas season doesn't start until they've gone to Vespers, and then it's official for them. And one of my favorite carols is the O Come Emmanuel. Da, 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 da. Actually, it's the melody that they played. It was an arrangement we were singing of that in the clip.
Processional, right?
Yeah. And so that's the first hymn of the whole service. And so we sing an opening piece, and then we launch into that song. And I look out, I'm in the balcony, and I look out over the whole room, and everybody's singing and in their red sweaters. And it's heartwarming. It just feels so warm and happy. And I love that moment, especially on the first night, because here we go. We're starting our 6 nights.
Oh, goodness. And you also mentioned that there's the choir and there's also different music ensembles that come together.
Right. So
talk to me a little about those. I know there's the one a lot of people know about, the trombones.
Right.
But there are other instrumental ensembles as well.
We have a brass ensemble and a flute ensemble. We have this year a clarinet choir. We have a guitar ensemble.
Wow.
The trombones actually play in the belfry.
Yes.
They're not playing in the service
Right.
proper, but they play at the beginning and the end while people are coming and going.
Which is so neat.
It really sets
Yeah.
the mood, for people coming in, and it's really nice.
Yeah. What, I mean, you've done this in 25 years. Where do you see, what role do you see the Vespers playing in the greater Lehigh Valley? I mean, a lot of people have said that Christmas doesn't start until they've gone to this concert. Obviously for you direct it. You don't get to necessarily sit in the pews.
No.
Where do you see this, and it's through its history, what role do you see this play in the greater celebration of Christmas in the Valley?
Well, we're not the only ones that do a Vesper service. I know Lehigh does. I think Muhlenberg maybe even.
Sure.
So I think the part of the issue is that you don't get to go in unless you have your ticket and some kind of connection to Moravian. So a lot of people don't actually get to go from year to year. But luckily we've been doing this videotaping every other year thanks to Blue Ridge Cable. And so that gets out on broadcast to local channels and on YouTube, so they can see it that way. It's not as cool as being there with the candles, everything, but certainly I think it's certainly for our little corner in Bethlehem, with our lights, all the white lights up, and then there we are in the church doing it. It really is a symbol, I think, for a warm Christmas in Bethlehem.
Absolutely. Christmas City.
Yeah.
Last question. I know one of the highlights a lot of people look to every year is who sings Morning Star.
Right.
Who, if you're allowed to say, who has the honor
I assume they won't mind.
Christmas 2019.
We have 3 soloists this year. Lillian Driscoll, who's 12, Emily Belfie, who's 8, and Riley Strunk, who's 10. They all auditioned and were accepted, and they've practiced in the church, and they get to come up and they have the big candle. We all have the candles this size, but they get the big candle and they stand in front or the balcony and sing over everybody, and it's a great experience for them. I know they get pretty nervous, but they all usually, the girls this year are great. They're solid.
Well, we can't wait to hear them. We're sure going to do great. Dr. Zerkle, thank you for all that you do for this community and for leading this concert every year. I know we can't wait to hear it, and so best of luck to you.
Thank you.
And we look forward to it.
Great.
Thank you for joining us in our journey through Bethlehem, and we hope to see you here sometime soon. My name is Sam Chen. On behalf of all of us here at Face the Issues, we wish you a very Merry Christmas. And now to close us out, Kendal Conrad.
The